Hi, this is Attorney Marie Martin of Martin and Hedevar PLLC, and today's topic is ways to make sure your time as a tenant goes smoothly. First and foremost, you should be familiar with the terms of the lease that you signed when moving into your rental home. Most common situations should be spelled out in it. Everyone who is an occupant of the home should be listed on the lease. Most landlords put limits on the amount of time someone who is not listed as an occupant on the lease can stay there. The lease also usually says exactly what date the rent is due and when late fees will be added to the amount due. Minnesota state law limits the amount of a late fee to 8% of the amount that is late. If you make your rent payments in cash, always get a receipt and keep that receipt in a permanent file with other rental documents like the lease and the initial checklist of the condition of the home when you moved in. Minnesota law also limits the amount charged for a return check to $30. If you pay your rent by money order, fill out the receipt portion and keep it for your records as well. It may be difficult or impossible to get copies of the money orders from the issuer without that receipt portion. Your landlord is responsible for making sure that your rental unit is fit to live in, kept in reasonable repair, kept in compliance with state and local health laws, and made reasonably energy efficient while you live there. Your landlord cannot waive these obligations under Minnesota state law. If your landlord won't make repairs after you notify them in writing that a repair is needed, you should request an inspection from the city that you live in. In Minnesota, there is no right of a tenant to make the repair and deduct the cost of the repair from rent. If you pay for the repair yourself, be prepared to pay the full amount of rent as well. If you don't or can't make the repair yourself and your landlord doesn't respond to the inspection, you might be able to go to court and get an order for the repairs to be made. You must still pay the rent, but you pay it to the court, which holds the funds in an escrow account. If you live in a large complex, you might not have to make the rent deposit, but you will probably need to hire an attorney to represent all the tenants because of the complexity involved in going to court in this type of situation. Your landlord must respect your right to privacy and may enter your unit only under certain circumstances. There must be a reasonable business purpose for the entry, and they have to make a good faith effort to give you reasonable notice under the circumstances that they plan to enter your unit. Immediate entry is reasonable if it's necessary to prevent injury, to check on your safety, or to check on unlawful activities. If you request emergency assistance, such as calling the police to your rental property, your landlord cannot evict, penalize, or limit your right to call for such services. If you have any questions or comments, send us an email at info@mhpllclaw.com.